Welcome to Park Place Lanes for the first string of the final match in this inaugural Women's Pro Tour Mixed Doubles tournament. This, as I say, is the first string of a two-string match, and the competitors are the teams of Jeff LaPierre and Amanda Carroll, and the other team is Stephen Reno Jr. and Tina Warren. Right now you see Jeff and Stephen getting the action underway here in the first string. The format for this event was that all of the doubles teams bowled a 5-string qualifying round, and then the field was cut to the top 6 teams for match play. And as it turned out, Jeff LaPierre and Amanda Carroll were the top qualifying team with 1270, and Stephen Reno and Tina Ward were the second high qualifiers with 1243. So it's appropriate that they're meeting up in the final round as well. Earlier in the week, you might have seen we had some coverage of the semifinal round in which Jeff and Amanda defeated Keith Beaupre and Nikki McKeever, while Stephen and Tina were defeating yours truly and my partner Holly Fournier to arrive at the finals. Jeff LaPierre, as I'm sure you know, is from the state of Maine, as is Amanda Carroll. Meanwhile, Stephen Reno and Tina Ward are both from central Massachusetts. They bowl out of Bogey Lanes in East Brookfield. You can see Stephen Reno looking over that 7-8 leave that he has pretty closely. He's got some wood that I'm sure he's going to try to use, but it's a matter of, well, and he does try to use it, but he's only able to get the 8-pin. Pretty tough to negotiate that particular piece of wood. Jeff LaPierre, after recording spares in the second and third boxes, has a 5 drop and a pretty tricky leave here. 1, 2, 7, 8, 10, and he gets everything but the 10-pin. Stephen Reno looking at sort of a simplified version of the same shot. 1, 2, 10, and he was able to also get everything except the 10. That's going to be a 9 box for Jeff because he missed the 10-pin, but the ball came out of the pit and knocked it down. That's kind of unusual here at Park Place. You don't see a lot of loose balls coming out of the pit, but nonetheless he had one there. Jeff in the 5th frame drops 8, leaving the 6-10 plank in front of it, so he should be able to record a spare here to sit on in the first half, and he does. Stephen Reno Jr. looking at 5, 6, 10 with a piece of wood, and he makes a nice try, but he might not have been quite far enough to the right to cover that 10-pin. So Stephen with 46 and Jeff with, as you can see on the scoreboard, 63 with a ball to throw once he comes back up. So they will turn it over to Amanda Carroll and Tina Ward. Amanda was the high qualifier of on either the men's or the women's side in this tournament with 642 in the 5-string qualifying round. She also, among that 642, had a 160 game, which was tied for the high single by anybody in qualifying. And I don't think it was equaled or surpassed in match play either. Tina Ward begins with a spare. Tina qualified with 610. Amanda Carroll begins with an 8 box. This, as I mentioned, is the first tournament on the new Women's Pro Tour, which is being run under the auspices of the U.S. Candlepin Bowling Association, which is also a fairly new organization representing bowlers, and their ambition is to revitalize the tournament scene and try and increase participation. Second box, Amanda Carroll with a 9. She has 17. Tina Ward with a 10 box, 27. So she has cut 10 pins off the lead that Jeff LaPierre established. Amanda Carroll with an 8 drop and a 7-10 split. And she has several pieces of wood in between and well out towards the front of the deck. Taking a look, just asking Jeff to see if he has any ideas about how to play it. She's probably going to play that first piece of wood. Try and hit it fairly high and see if she can get... And that works. That's maybe not exactly the way she envisioned it, but that we'll give you another look at it in slow motion in just a moment. So that's a spare in the third for Amanda Carroll. Tina Ward with a 9. And here you see it. Amanda goes pretty high on that wood, and the wood goes all the way over to the 7 pin, pushes the wood into the 7, and then comes across to get the 10 pin. She'll be filling that spare. Very, very light hit, but she gets a lot of sidewall action and puts strike on spare. Tina Ward with a kind of a full hit on the 1-2 side, leaving the 3, 5, 7, and 10 with a piece of wood sort of in between the 3 and 5. This is going to be difficult to make because if she used the wood, it would be tough to get the 7 pin. I was thinking the 3 pin might go in front of the 7, but in any case she will be open in this box. And she'll take a 9. Tina has 45 through the 4th. Amanda Carroll filling the strike in the 4th, and almost a double. That's really a better shot than the other one that went. Really pounding the 1-2 pocket, leaving the 5 pin. Tina Ward with a 5-10 split. Pretty good 1-2 pocket hit there as well. But this is a difficult leave. Amanda picks up this spare. She's got 3 marks in a row. And Tina with a nice bid on that 5-10. But the 5 pin actually went in front of the 10. The ball caught the end of that first wood and deflected into the 5. But we'll look at it in slow motion. I think the piece of wood behind the 5 pin might have caused the 5 to go in front of the 10. So, in any event, you can see that Jeff LaPierre and Amanda Carroll lead by 29 through 5 frames, plus they're both working on spares. So they're out to a pretty healthy lead. But of course there's still quite a bit of bowling to do in this 2-string match as they switch lanes. Stephen Reno Jr. comes over to lane 24, and Jeff LaPierre will finish this string on lane 23. Stephen with a solid 1-2 pocket hit, leaving just the 5 pin. No wood anywhere in the vicinity. Jeff LaPierre with a 4 fill on the spare. He has 67. And that makes it a 33 pin lead at this point. And Jeff with a nice bid on that 4 drop. Head pin went right around the 4-7, or I think it went over it, off the wall and up and over. And that'll be a 9. Stephen Reno picks up 1 pin of the lead. And nice ball in the 1-3 pocket by Steve, but he doesn't have much to look at there. He's got the 2, 5, and 10. And that piece of wood is probably not going to do anything for him. And nice ball by Jeff in the 1-3 pocket, leaving the 5 and 8 with some wood that, as long as he doesn't hit the cap or otherwise, and he just pushes it straight back. So that's a spare in the 7th for Jeff LaPierre. Steven Reno punches out the half Worcester right side, just takes out the 3-9. Jeff with a light hit. Actually, I think he missed the head pin, but got 7. Steven Reno with a great shot on lane 24 to take out that half Worcester. This is like throwing a strike. He just really gets a mixer, and that goes out of there in a hurry. That is a very timely spare for Steven Reno Jr. in the 8th frame. And let's see what Jeff LaPierre can do. He's looking over this 7, 8, 10 pretty carefully. I'm sure he's going to use that wood, but how he's going to use it is an open question at this point. Whether he can find a way to cover all 3. Wow, and that's a nice bid. He got it to come off the wall after sweeping the 10 pin, and it came over and got the 8, but it went in front of the 7, so he'll just have, he'll be open in the 8th. And that'll be a 10 box. Nice job getting by that double wood in the gutter. Steven Reno with strike on spare. And that quickly lops 10 pins off the lead of Jeff and Amanda. Jeff with a 4 drop. He's got 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9, I believe. Yeah, and he came right in solid on the head pin. So he's still got 3, 4, and 7 left. He'll be open in the 9th. And that'll be an 8 box. So Steven Reno Jr. has a chance to further reduce the lead. And he has an extremely light hit on the left side. And that's the same, pretty much the same shot that he had several frames ago on the other lane. Sort of got that helicopter coming off the left side wall and wiping out the 4 horsemen. So he's got the 7, 8. The wood is a little bit different. Maybe a little more promising, but he's still going to have to cover the 7 and 8 with 1 piece of wood. And he almost does it, but it's difficult to cover that whole thing with 1 piece of wood. So the 8 pin doesn't quite go off the wall. Jeff LaPierre looking at 4 and 5 with a piece of wood, 2 pieces of wood, maybe even 3 actually, but he wiggles that 4 pin, but it doesn't go, so both guys will be open in the 10th. Steven Reno with a 114 game, not too bad after starting with the 46 half. Jeff LaPierre with a 121 game. So they'll step aside once again, and Tina Ward and Amanda Carroll will step up once again. As you see, the lead has been cut. Steven Reno Jr. cut 10 pins off the lead. It was 29, now it's 19, plus that 1 spare to one ball to fill on the spare by Amanda Carroll in the 5th. Tina Ward bowling first on lane 24. And she throws a nice ball, dropping 8, leaving a 4-7. Piece of wood out front. Amanda punches through the head pin, leaving a big 5. Tina with the spare in the 6th. That piece of wood was a little bit dangerous, but she was able to negotiate it without too much trouble. And Amanda Carroll with that was a foul on the second ball. She just went over the line, cost her a pin there. It's kind of unusual, but it does happen. And so that'll be an 8 box. Tina Ward, she punches through the middle this time and leaves a big 5. Amanda has after a very light hit, has the 7, 9, and 10 with a couple of pieces of wood out front and another one in between the 9 and 10. Little tough to see exactly what she's going to do with that. And great shot right there. Those went out really quickly. We'll give you a look at this in slow motion. She actually avoids that first piece of wood and uses the second one to deflect the ball over into the 7 while the wood takes out the 9 and 10. That was a really terrific shot, because that first wood might have made it difficult to get the 7. I'm not sure. The ball might have gone around the 7, but she read it perfectly. And that will be a 5 fill on the spare, while Tina Ward drops 6, leaves the 4 horsemen left side. And Tina with a nice bid on the 4 horsemen. She goes to the right side of the head pin, gets everything but the 4. Beautiful shot there by Amanda Carroll to take out that 4 horsemen plus the 8 pin, otherwise known as the Caleri. And here is the replay. This is kind of a classic conversion of this spare. Head pin comes off the wall and gets the 8. Great shot. That's 2 spares in a row for Amanda Carroll. Tina Ward with a 1-2 pocket hit, leaving the triangle on the right side, 3, 5, 6. Amanda Carroll with strike on spare once again. And once again, a light hit that generated a lot of sidewall action. Just as pretty much the same thing that happened in the first half. So she has got 125 plus the strike fill in the 9th. Tina Ward firing in the 10th, and another nice ball there. 8 drop, leaving the 4-7. Again, similar to the one she had a few boxes ago. Amanda Carroll with an 8 drop, leaving the 3-6. Tina Ward with the conversion, so she'll have 105 plus a ball. And Amanda with a spare in the 10th. She will have 145 plus a ball. Phenomenal string by Amanda Carroll. See what Tina Ward can do with this fill ball to finish out the first string of this 2-string match. She will add 5, and that gives her a 110 string. So she and Stephen have 224 through the first. And Amanda Carroll with a strike on the spare in the last box, and that gives her a 155 game. And the team has 276, and that's good for a 52-pin lead through the first string of this 2-string match. So we will have the second string also on YouTube very shortly.